because there's not much. It's not like a script where we're having to rehearse and it has to be a certain way. We're just ourselves. So actually, it's just
extra foolishness.
For your watching and listening pleasure.
All right. You know what? Let's get this show on the road. So, welcome back, good people. Welcome back. Or
Yay.
Thanks for joining us for the first time. We hope you're doing all good out there and trying not to take the bullshit too seriously, because really it's all frolics.
It is.
Friends call me Mo, Mojo, Mons, Mose, but you can call me Monique.
Mose.
Because, yeah, only one person.
Okay.
But you can call me Monique because I don't know you like that yet. I mean, joking. Kind of joking. And I am, of course, joined by my fabulous, super smart, super hilarious, effortlessly gorgeous partner in several crimes.
Probably the instigator, actually.
She said it.
Amy,
yes. G.
It's me, folks. Yeah. I don't have that many nicknames, though. It's literally Amy or Ames. What can you do with 3 letters? I mean...
And A is like really weird to say on its own.
Yeah. Although my mum does call me A because there's 2 of us with A names and she gets mixed between. So she just shouts out A. And if we're both in the room, we'll both answer. If one of us is there, she's got the right one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we do love a hack. That's too funny. All right. Well, look, we're going to get the ball rolling. If you're back with us again or for the first time, you know that we kick things off with an icebreaker. Today's icebreaker is a game. I do love a game. Amy's rolling her eyes. If you can't see.
I know. I love a game. I just don't like losing a game. So that's, if you did catch the look, that's because I'm anticipating some pressure, which I don't do well with.
We like to win things.
And why do I always come with like some hot clothing when it's my turn? Oh.
So this game is called 5-second rule. So you're basically going to have 5 seconds to name 3 things in the question. So for example, if I say, name 3 things that have a window, you have 5 seconds to list 3 things.
So associated. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I did have like a whole countdown timer thing set up, but I'm not trying to mess with the tech and the recording, folks. So I'm just going to count down verbally, going back to basics.
We're retro. Right. We do things retro. It's fine.
That's it.
It's a theme. Chic. It's like a trend. Exactly. We're with it. We're down with the kids.
Oh my God.
And in saying that,
yeah, you just age us.
If you how it is, guys. If you have just joined us, this is it.
If you say we're hip, I am logging off.
Those words, unless I'm referring to my hips, that doesn't come out of my mouth.
Which is kind of often, isn't it? Oh my God. Okay, let's move on swiftly, but not too swiftly because hips. Right. So the first thing, the first thing doesn't make sense. Right. First question is, name 3 things you do before going to bed. 5.
Ooh. 4, brush my teeth, 3, face routine, 2, and stretch.
1. Ooh, stretch. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not a big routine. Literally, I just try to touch my toes. That is so... so I'm just going to have to plug this. It is really, really good if you sit down all day to be able to release the back muscles. So if you do bend over and touch your toes and just take like 3 deep breaths, you will literally feel like your back going gook, 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 stretching out. It's fantastic. So that's why I do it, because otherwise I go to bed and I'm all
Hunched up. Yeah, that's true. All right. You got that one. Can't really say correct, but you gave me 3. So
Yeah.
points.
Okay.
All right. Next one. 3 things that make you scream. 5, 4. 3,
Something and
2.
spiders.
What? Something?
Yeah, I was going to say the sex word.
Wow. How old are you? Why are you saying this?
I don't like this game.
Oh.
No, go for it. Next one.
All right.
Sorry.
Next one. Easy peasy. Name 3 cocktails. 5.
Spicy 50, porn
3,
star martini, and
2,
also espresso martini.
1. There we go.
All 3 of those are my favorites.
Easy.
Although I don't like to have the espresso martini too often because coffee and all of that.
It just sounds like a bad idea. Like
It's
vodka and Red Bull, like an upper and a downer.
Vodka and Red Bull?
Yeah, in the sense that like it's an upper and a downer.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah.
That's always kind of weirded me out a little. I mean, delicioso, but whose idea was that?
And now I guess it's just they're going for the upper and for a small period of time. It depends how many you're going to drink. Because if you're just having the one, which you probably should, because it's a martini, it's meant to be a sipping drink, not a gulp, which is why I have 3 and not the 1. Yeah. Okay, good one.
All right, next one. Name 3 things. What? Why couldn't I read my own? Okay. Next one. Name 3 things you carry. 5.
Okay. Bag,
3,
phone, and keys.
2. Okay, cool.
I need you to say go.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Thanks, because otherwise I'm like, are we starting yet?
Is 5 not enough? But I'll say go. That's fine.
Yeah, but that's already counted into my second.
That's true. You see, we Aries, we need our things.
I know,
to
we
win.
need clarity.
Okay, next one. Name 3 ways to exercise. Go. 5.
Running, yoga, and Zumba.
2. Ooh. All right, Zumba.
That's a throwback. I don't even know if that's like, I'm sure people still do it because I did see an advertisement for it the other day, but that used to be my favorite way to exercise.
I never got into, dancing.
You
so
should
obviously
have, yeah. I know, you should have.
Oh, God. I could set it as a challenge for myself. Maybe. Let me not say it to you because you'll make me do it. Okay, next one. 3 things you need to play sports. Go.
Trainers,
5,
sports
4,
bra, and also some shorts.
2. Okay. Next one. 3 things that show the time. Go. 5.
Clock, laptop,
4,
and watch.
3. Okay. Name 3 reasons to use a mirror. Go.
Check my eyebrows. 5, check it out, have bogies up my nose.
3,
my teeth.
2. Bogies is essential.
Especially those ghost ones that just kind of like sit in the hairs and you're walking around town just going, hi.
And no one's just telling you about it.
Yeah.
Rude.
Would be weird though if a stranger did say, just want to let you know that you've got some like...
I've done that before.
Well done, you. That makes you the good person.
No one would
I tried to just go...
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like, but you know, just a discreet, do you have a tissue because you need to wipe your nose? Just like, you know.
That sounds like telling a child it though, isn't it? Do you happen to have a tissue because you need to wipe your nose? Right, okay.
Still, do my part. Okay, name 3 things you use your mouth for. Go.
Eating, 5, drinking, 4, and chatting crap.
Okay.
I could have said something else, but after the SEX thing, I stopped.
I saw it with the eyes widened, so I was like, oh, that's where she went first. It's fine.
Yeah. Not that often, though.
So much work.
My business.
3 reasons to make a list. Go. 5.
Ooh, knowing what I need to do,
3,
checking things off, and
2,
making sure things are done.
Isn't 1 and 3 the
2.
same?
Well, knowing what I need to do and making sure things are done.
That's the same list, girl.
Okay.
Okay. Not too many more
Well, give
now.
me 3 reasons.
To make a list?
Yeah, your reasons.
Shopping list.
That reason.
Yeah. Shopping list.
Those are just 3 different types of lists.
Menu for the week. And I don't know, girls, your question. Anyway.
Actually, so listeners, maybe you can kind of be the person to tell us what this actually is, because I understood it as different lists in terms of reasons for making a list. So why would you make a list in the first place? And then your reasons, the way I understood it, was the different types of lists that you could have. But they could be technically the same thing. Okay, anyway, scratch. But yeah, I'm interested to know. No, I'm still interested in to know.
Amy wants to know if she's right. So
No. I want to understand what you interpreted.
Okay.
That Aries isn't out today.
I mean, we're recording in the AM on this occasion, so maybe still asleep.
Listen, I woke up literally an hour ago, so...
Yeah, for real. Okay. 3 words that rhyme with bug. Go. 5.
Scrap.
4.
Those ones won't work for me. I couldn't even think of one.
Mind you, you just said it's early, right? Okay, so that was mean.
No, I was just like... Dog came to mind and I was like, that does not sound like... jug. Idiot. Never mind.
1. A minute later. Okay, we'll move on. 2 more. 3 things you do when you wake up. Go. 5.
Stretch.
4.
Get out of bed
3.
and check my phone.
2. Oh, perfect.
No, in that order.
At least it's not the first thing. So
I guess technically it is because, well, not to check my phone, but I do have my alarm on my phone. I think we've spoken about this before.
Yeah.
I have my alarm on my phone. So the first thing I do is turn that alarm onto snooze.
I hate the snooze button. And why is the snooze button like bigger than the stop button? It's like the setup is real.
It's easier to use as well.
Yeah.
Like you just press it, and as opposed to swiping or something like that. And it's just like, oh, the swipe is such an effort.
It's early. All right. Last one. Name 3 things you sniff. Go. 5.
Clean clothing.
3.
And that's
2.
it.
1.
I don't sniff anything else. What do you sniff?
Food sometimes. Perfume.
Yeah, that's a good one. But what else?
I mean, that's all I got.
Exactly.
It's your game, not mine.
I don't sniff food.
Oh, I do.
It's your game.
But when you're cooking, you just smell the aromas.
That's just, you're breathing in, darling. You're not sniffing on purpose.
A purposeful, like, face in the pot. No? Just me. No. Okay, that's cool. I'll stand on that.
Maybe I need to start sniffing more. I definitely sniff laundry. Like as soon as that's out, like...
One of the best smells, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, well, out of, I don't even know how many I asked you now, but you got 9 right.
Okay.
Give me 9 full answers, I should say, because...
Yeah, some of them were partial or not at all. Sorry, I'm reaching for a notepad because I want to make an action to sniff. Or
sniff
become...
What?
No, just become a...
Oh, in general?
Present if I do sniff.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I've just made me think, when do I sniff?
Although I think sniffle actually probably counts, like if you've got a cold. It's literally called a sniff.
Oh.
A sniff.
I wrote sniffle.
My bad.
You sniff. Okay.
All right. Well, I feel a little more loosened up. How are you feeling?
Warm. No, I feel good. I feel good. I feel surprisingly in a chirpy mood today. Yesterday I was in a funky place, but today I feel good.
All right. Well, let us, what do I say? Sashay on over into the deep dive.
Yeah.
You gonna join me? We've got to synchronize this better.
I know. We need to learn how we're going to do it. Is it 1, 2, and then jump? Oh, I like your nails, by the way.
You made a bit of an effort this time around. So this week, this deep dive question that we've been pondering on for the last couple of days is, when do you feel lonely?
When do you feel lonely?
Yeah. Do you want to kick us off, or do you want me to?
No, sure. I'm happy
to go in there. All right. Let's have a chat about it.
So I guess it was an interesting one, because when you're not feeling lonely, it's hard to think about when you do feel lonely.
Sure.
But yesterday, as I said, I was in a funky place. That was a very good example of when I feel lonely, because I am caught up in feelings that I don't quite understand, or reasons for why I'm feeling those feelings. I think it was probably more a temperament. So I was on the verge all day of wanting to fight any and everything.
Oh, fight. Yeah. I really thought you were going to say cry, but we can fight too.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't like that kind of emotion. It was just like frustration and anger, and not at anyone, just at everything.
Yeah.
I was frustrated that I hadn't had enough time to clean my flat for a while, like the way that I would normally, rather than like the wiping down the sides and occasional sweeping. Like, go to town on it. And we've moved some things around recently, and they're just like hanging about, and that was irritating me. And these things, not rational, why? And so I'm just left trying to figure things out for myself and work out of this weird mood that I'm in.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are things that I can do, like, actually starting to tidy up. That started to make me feel a bit better. But then I lost steam. I got halfway through and I was like, I can't be bothered to do this anymore. I'll save that for another day. And then and sometimes it just kind of shifts. It's like, passing clouds. It's at one point they're all dark and stormy, and you feel like, it's going to rain and I'm caught out here. And then the next minute, they're fluffy and white and they're just passing by, and I start to see the blue skies again. And I think it's really tough not to let yourself get caught up in all of that, because I isolate myself. I'm lucky because I have you and Kay, and I will fire off all of these feelings in an audio note or like in a message. And it's never a case of like, I need you to respond. It's more like, I'm going to put it out there because I know at some point they've probably felt something similar. And that helps me feel less lonely. But also sometimes and it's all to do when I'm in emotions, if I am upset about something and I've communicated it, and the other person is either doesn't understand, doesn't accept where my feelings are coming from, not that they're right or wrong, just like it doesn't acknowledge that my feelings are valid. And also gets on the defensive, which I am guilty of as well. I'm going to hold my hand up. Still working on that. That's a time when I can feel very lonely. I never really feel alone when I'm on my own. In fact, revel in it.
You're talking, I'm in that club.
The hills are alive in those moments.
Best company.
There's no expectations. And so I enjoy that time. I guess if that was prolonged, and I'm used to having someone or people around me, I could feel lonely. I think that would be a transition to say, if my relationship didn't continue, that I would definitely feel lonely because I'm so used to having that companionship. But I'm not going to put that out there because that ain't going to happen.
No. Not at all. We'll fight for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Like we didn't fight for the others. Sorry. Let me think about what I'm saying. But this is the real deal.
It's I think we're different space, different headspace, different time.
Different time, it's true.
It's right. It's right. Yeah. Oh, so on a segue, nothing to do with what we've just been talking about, but I don't know if guys who are watching, you've noticed that we've both got little slick back hair, but something to do with the way that I'm wearing my hair today. I was in the kitchen and my other half was like looking at me lovingly. And I was just like, I feel so loved, I feel so loved. And just look like staring and smiling. And so I kind of turned and was like, what are you staring at? And he said, do you know, if you were a boy, you would have a sick, like, fade line. Compliment. It was a compliment, but at the same time, I was just like, I thought that was going somewhere else.
And that hairline is fantastic. So I get it, but yeah.
I know. He was just like referencing, I don't know, here.
I see exactly where he was going with it.
But it was just weird because it was just like...
The thought didn't match the look.
No. But at least I know
he's so funny.
If it comes time for me to do a Jada, then I won't look too bad.
No, you've got a face.
I don't know if I would go like, though.
What would you do then?
I don't know. I'd just kind of like ease it. I wouldn't have it. You know how guys have it? Where
like really a proper shape up.
Yeah. I don't think I'd do that. Anyway, we're talking about loneliness and now we're like on another thing, which always happens. What about yourself?
I have not a long list of things, but through thinking about it, there's quite a few things actually. Do I go to like the shallower end of the things or
start at the shallow and go into the deep? Or you can go to the deep and walk back into the shallow.
I think that might be, I'll do that. So it doesn't happen often because I'm very happy with my own company and the circle of friends that I have around me. I feel very content and fulfilled that way. But there are times when I feel the lack of elder guidance. And I mean, that's not to say, that I don't have elders in my life that are supporting me and rooting for me, because I absolutely do. And they absolutely do. But sometimes it just feels a bit surface, just like, go on, you can do it, do your best, you're doing great. And sometimes I kind of want a bit more than you're doing great, kind of just a bit more of a bit more of a helping hand. Not literally, but just, I think maybe Disney ruined me and I'm kind of wanting to have like a grandmother Willow, like someone whose feet I can kind of sit in front of and have them like tell me all of the things and all of the ways in which I could go about doing things, Some of it could actually be because I am like the eldest child as well, which I know you are, and can sometimes feel like you're very much on your own out here.
You're finding the way.
Having to figure it out yourself, And I do wish sometimes that there was an elder, that if I was in a situation where I'm sort of really battling with what to do, that I could be like, oh yeah, I'll call X, Y, and Z, and they're bound to give me some like great advice that I can mull over. Again, as I said, there are people that, and I have lots of peers. I won't say lots of peers. That requires a lot of work to have lots of peers, but I do have a great circle of friends, who offer fantastic advice, and really hold me up that way. But I just feel like there's something to be said for the wisdom of age, someone that's been on this earth for 20, maybe 30 more years than you, that have seen life. And wisdom just feels different, doesn't it? And I don't feel like I don't really feel that there is an elder like that. I can be like, yeah, that's who I'm gonna go to. So yeah, at times like that, I'm just like, oh, I just wish that there was someone out there that could just tell me what to do, because making decisions is exhausting.
Yeah.
You just feel like you just like want to hand your life over to someone and say, please figure this out, clean it and give it back. and let me get on with it, because I am tired. Like my brain hurts. I just want to lay down and eat snacks.
Just for a while, sometimes you just want to press pause.
Yeah.
When it becomes a lot and you're just like, when do I get a break? Like, that's what I need. I need a break from this, and not for it to stop, just to hand it over. It's like a relay race a little bit. Just like, let me just hand this over. This person can run that leg of the race for me a little bit, and then I'll take it back when I'm rested and ready to go. And I've watched that. So I've observed what they've done and I'm learning what they're doing. And then I take that with me. So I'm like, okay, next time I face this challenge, I'll know exactly how to tackle it.
Yeah, exactly. And, I don't want to take away, from the, from like the uncles and aunts and my parents that I do have in my life, as I said, who do support me. But, I think we're in a different time now as well, where, the elders are still very much on their own grind as well. And do we really have the time to get together as often as they did back in the day? There was a period of time where you would have like 2 or even 3 generations within a household. So everyone, you've got the support kind of around you all the time, and we just don't have things set up that way anymore. We're all very much on our own island doing our own thing.
I think that also speaks to how we live nowadays as well. Like, everyone lives so far away, whereas before everyone would be in the same village or the same town, so very close. You'd see them every day, every other day. And now you're like having to plan months in advance of, okay, well, we've got this date that we've all got free. Let's make sure that we see each other. Exactly. You have to book in time. So yeah, it's very different.
Yeah. So I think, that's probably the main time that I really feel the most lonely. It doesn't happen, it doesn't happen that often, but there is just some times where it's just like, oh, there's no one around. That's very dramatic, because there is.
But it can feel that way. I think that's the thing and I feel like sometimes when you're in those lower vibrational moods, like, sadness, loneliness, everything feels extra dramatic.
It does.
So I bet it can feel like there is no one around.
Feelings will have you messed up, I mean, they have you looking at the world completely different. And as you said earlier, they're fleeting as well. Mm-hmm. So what in one moment seems like an impossible situation, in the next moment it's actually like, oh, okay, I can do X, Y, and Z to get myself out of this. Or actually, no, it's not that bad at all. And then there you go again, skipping along.
Yeah.
Like nothing ever happened. So yeah. As I'm saying that I wish that there were elders that I could reach out to, because I live in my head a lot as I'm saying this stuff out loud. There are actually a couple that I feel like could probably offer me some like really good advice, and that would take the time out to like hear me out and kind of counsel me. But I've actually never reached out. You know, I've actually never picked up the phone and said, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think? It's a bad habit that I have of just pushing through myself and, you know, finding the answers, because it's kind of like what I've always done. This is just what I'm used to doing.
That's the eldest child syndrome.
It's real. It really is. But I'm not sort of placing blame or anything. It's just how my family setup is. Everyone's kind of out there doing their own things. But yeah, being an adult now, you know, you kind of have to take the responsibility yourself, don't you? And actually reach out for the things that you want.
Yeah. And I guess, like, would they even know that they could reach out to you?
No, because I don't give anyone the opportunity. How are you doing? Literally, it's like, how are you doing? Fine. How's everything? Oh, it's great. Dying inside. But everything's great.
Never better.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm actually gonna really think about that. And actually the next time that something crops up, I'm gonna do it. Trying to break these habits, you know?
Yeah.
And do better. And it's great. I mean, a lot of the times, you know, we kind of think a situation has to be a certain way. Like when I think of getting guidance from elders, in my head, that would be something that always was, in the sense that growing up as a kid, there would be that one aunt or that grandparent that would always be there for you, and not reverse engineering it. Like those bonds could be formed later in life. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the trouble with expectations, isn't it? It can really limit your view to the possibilities. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And you know, you just made me think of something in terms of like a quotation about expectations. Because there was something I once read, and it was, you know, when you read something and you're just like, ugh,
yeah,
I hate how real
accurate
that was.
is it? Yeah.
So this is what it is. It's expectations lead to disappointment. Have hope, but not expectations. You may just be surprised, but not disappointed.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite nice.
And it's so freeing as well.
Exactly, because it's not saying that you can't enjoy the idea of something ahead. It's about not expecting it to turn up. It's just like, well, if it does, that'll be lovely.
Yeah, it's like it makes everything a bonus. You know?
I like bonuses.
Right. So something else that makes me feel lonely. Well, not something else, but other instances. When I'm coming back home, right, from a night out with friends, getting home to an empty house. Yeah, I'm definitely like, so who do I talk to about how great this evening was? Or who's going to make me some toast because I've drank way too much? There's no one to tuck me in. It's like a hard end to like a really good evening out, you know?
Well, can I just say a little something about that? Even when you have someone to come home to, that doesn't necessarily happen. It's more like, ooh, you smell of alcohol. And why are you shuffling in the bed so much? I'm trying to sleep. No, that's never been said. The first thing has, but the morning after. In fact, I think after a morning with you, like after a night with you, the morning after, it was like, ooh, someone drank a lot. And I was like, yeah.
Still drunk. Yeah, no, I can imagine that that's the case. But, we always want what we don't have. And it's so easy to romanticize what things could be or would be like,
But it's nice to have hope for that, though. That will be when it lands.
It's definitely going to be a thing.
I can have expectations for you. You don't have to have expectations, but I will have expectations for you.
I do. It's definitely going to be a thing. There will absolutely be someone to come home to at some point. So it doesn't really, I don't pine, but it's just like, okay, let me just go to bed. Or I'll just or I'll put on Netflix or something just to wind down
in the background.
Yeah. And then go to bed. But also, what else have I got here? Anything to do with my car, I actually get really irritated. It's just like, I shouldn't be having to do this. I shouldn't be having to worry about the MOT or what the tire tread is like, or, putting the car in for a service or taking it to get clean. No, I should not have these issues. Why am I having to lift up the bonnet and check oil and add water and fluid? No.
But that's a massive assumption that that's what men should do.
I know it is. I know.
Because not all men know.
They don't.
I feel
like nowadays as well, most guys will call a guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. Should get an expert in. Maybe not to put oil and water in the screen wash. That's just ridiculous. I would love to know how to do all of that stuff. I would be more than happy if I got a flat tire. I just do it myself, and I'd just be like, pop, pop. If I had a little issue under the hood, that I'm there with my little toolbox.
Tinker.
I would love to be able to do that. Yeah, with my little dungarees on. That's my thing. I'd be there. The only thing is I don't want to get my nails dirty or scratched.
Yeah, because that grease and oil under the hood is,
That's what you're ragging your boots for.
Oh my God. You've probably got the mechanic stereotype together.
Yeah.
Dungarees and oil rag.
You can call me. I need some screen wash in my thing. I'll be right up.
Oh, but I hate it. I don't want to do it, man. I do enough. I don't want to have to deal with this as well. I
think that, that's valid though. It is. And I think it's also something in regards to where you were saying about handing over the torch a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just having that other person to just take a load off for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think quite a bit of it probably ties into me being a single parent as well. Just always, my brain does not stop thinking about, other people and what they need. So it's just, someone to share the load, even if they don't have a clue. It'd just be nice to have another person as part of the team that also doesn't have a clue. We can be clueless together.
Yeah. What's this engine like? Google.
Exactly. But it's all part of the journey. Plus sides are, I've learned a lot. I can go under the, in the bonnet. Is it the bonnet? Yeah, it's the bonnet, isn't it? Yeah. I did not sell that very well at all.
At least you know where you're going. I can do
enough.
Called.
Yeah, I can do enough. In the front bit. Yeah, I can do enough to get by. So yeah, but it's a lot sometimes.
Any more? Or is that the shallow end?
That's the shallow end. Oh, and carrying groceries up to the house as well. I hate that. And I don't really like making trips. So I am that person that will have 3 bags on each arm and just slow step up. So it's very... Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah, you do. You do. Because then you've got the heavy stuff on your back, you're balanced, and then you've got one in each arm of
That's
everything else. Then you're not wobbling all over the place with one extra over here and pulling out all of it. You need a rucksack.
The weight distribution.
Yeah. And I have we both have cars. So we drive to the supermarket. Yeah. That's the great part up to that point, but then it's getting it back in. But yeah, I am. Unless I have a ridiculous amount of bags, I will carry that all by myself. Like, I'm not calling for anybody to help.
Yeah.
Because I've made the effort to go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get in, and then I can parade around being the martyr. I've done all of this shopping. I will bring the shopping up, and I will put this shopping away. Also, because I'm the only one who knows where it goes. Why is there rice in the fridge? Don't trust it. So
yeah, no, you're right, but I just don't do it anymore. So there's that. I've had enough. Where is the soft life? I'm not fussed about like putting the bins out. I know some people are very much like, that is not my job, but I don't care. Groceries, please bring them up. Car, take it away, bring it back clean with a full tank. Thank you.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, like my other half, he never had a car, like since he was like a teenager. So in the last year or so that since he's had one, it's like he's learning all again. So the first few times we would go and get petrol for his car together.
Yeah.
When he needed to top up oil and stuff, we would do that together because he was just like, I don't really know what I'm looking for. And then he got one of those dummy guide thing books.
Okay.
For mechanics, and he read that. That was just like nighttime reading.
I love that about him.
I know, but he's just like straight into research.
Yeah. And you need a researcher in your life because they don't know today, but they will know tomorrow.
I mean, the frustrating thing about that is you are waiting for a while to get an answer about things.
Okay.
So if I want something done, I have to put in a request like at least 2 months in advance.
Okay.
Because when I wanted a certain kind of shelving unit, and I'm like, what do you think about this? I sent all these links. Let me do some research to see what the best ones are, get all of the reviews up and what the best price is. I was waiting for a while. So in the end, I just bought one because, but this is something, I just bought it. And although it was like for our abode, really, I'm the one who wants it. And as long as you're okay with how it looks.
I would not have that kind of patience. For DIY stuff, for decorating stuff, no. You need to give me a yes or a no now. Because I'm in the mood to do this now. Like I care.
That's the thing about being in your relationship is that there are two different types. He feels like I'm attacking him if I'm just like, so babe, can we like talk about blah, blah, blah? He's like, whoa. Yeah. I'm not in that headspace. Even though I am, he's not in that headspace. Which is fair, because don't come to me with a lot of stuff, but I'm not in the space for it either. So it's fair. Exactly. I still, now, please. Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm like I want to go.
Yeah.
I have to take a step back and I really have to be aware of what's going on because that has been fed back and I'm just like, oh, okay, I've never realized that about myself before. Like I'm just gung-ho. But I get incredibly annoyed if it's back to me. If I'm like doing something and then I'm just getting someone talking at me, I'm just like, excuse me, I'm in the middle of something. But I will do the same thing back. And then be like, why aren't you listening to me?
It's a journey.
So rude. Don't you love me?
Oh my God. The joys.
Tribulations. I know. Such a journey. I was watching something the other day about like being in relationships and stuff. And I think it was from either like a coach or a therapist. And it was talking to start with about when you go through your own personal healing. As soon as you get into a relationship with someone, it doesn't matter how much work you've done on yourself, you will still see things that you need to work on.
Absolutely.
And I think that is where I'm at. I am still recognizing, and it frustrates the hell out of me because I'm like, when is this journey going to be over? Like, I just want to be like healed now.
Yeah, there is no over. Like over is death, babes. Like we can work through the triggers, but you know, she'll just show up in a different outfit and you'll think it's a whole new thing, but you know, you take off that jacket and the cute shoes, it's the same thing.
It's like Scooby-Doo. These meddling kids.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying a couple of episodes ago, actually, about what was the question you asked me? I don't know, something about being like a happy single or a...
Yeah, the smug singleton. No, the smug married or something singleton.
Singleton, yeah. And I think I was just saying something about, you know, the benefits of a partnership. Like, as you just said now, you can do all of that work on your own and, you know, get to a certain level of healing. But when you have to kind of coexist with someone else and like have that type of intimate relationship, it absolutely uncovers hidden levels, you know, secret trapdoors to things you may have felt like were healed and sorted, but actually no, there's something else, which I guess when it shows up, it's just like, oh, I'm done, I'm tired, no more. You know, and
pause.
And it knocks you off your feet, but really it's kind of all for our betterment, you know. It builds sort of like resilience and further understanding of self. It's expansive, which I think is great.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, so going back to the question, that is something that maybe not I've not felt, but potentially could feel, is when you're on that journey and you're shedding those layers and you're learning things about yourself, and then you realize that actually some of those layers you need to shed are people because they're not in the same place and they're not doing the same healing, and so you're not really gelling as much. I think that could be quite lonely because you start to see your friendship group grow smaller and smaller if you're not all on the same journey. I definitely, and I think I've referenced this before in another episode, like there is part of me where I definitely do not have the same friends now as I had, say, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. There are some who are still hanging on, and it's not because I'm trying to get rid of them. It's because there's just that undeniable connection. And we might not see each other for months, years. And yet when we're in the room together, it's like there's been no time apart at all. And then there are others who are literally just in your life for a season. And I think sometimes going through that realization can be quite lonely but we had so much fun. Why is it not fun now? And then the acceptance that actually you no longer need them in your life. That can be quite lonely.
Yeah, I've had a friend that I don't think I've experienced that personally, just because my friend circles, they've always been small, always. And I think that's just because I don't have I don't think I've got like the capacity really to have a lot of friends. And I don't really like surface things either, which is one reason why I can't do small talk. Like I'm just terrible at it. So I've never, I don't think I've gone through a period of like, oh, we used to be tight, but we're not now because they're off doing crazy stuff and I'm just not in that space anymore, or vice versa. So I've not experienced it, but I've witnessed it. And it's, you know what, I'd liken it to a death, especially when you've been so close to that person for so long, and you've hit all of these milestones together and experienced these big sort of like life moments, and then for them to just not be there anymore, or as you said, come to the realization that it's just not the same, and it just feels, I don't know, it just feels false, or so much more of an effort to be together that you have to let it go. Yeah, I've seen it up close. It's not pretty, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a couple, and something I'm only just realizing, I don't think I really grieved the end of those relations. Like you grieve an end of like a romantic relationship. Whether it's before you actually end it or the aftermath of it ending. But in a friendship, it's almost like, well, you know, bye.
Yeah.
But there is a loss. There is definitely a grief to it, because you have, like you said, all of the reasons that you explained around having those experiences. You know, that person was witnessing your life at that time, and then suddenly they're no longer there, and vice versa. So even that whole experience can be quite, you know, lonely, I think. But just not for me, I haven't experienced it where I felt like I was healing from anything or doing the work. It was just a case of life circumstances changed. And then we realized actually it's so much harder for us to be friends now because we're not in a same or similar place. And so it makes sense for us to kind of just, I guess, friendly ghost, Caspering, if you will.
I like that. Is that a term? It sounds like it's a term. If not, you've just coined it.
Yeah. When I start hearing it on the street, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that is. But yeah, you just kind of both, I guess, unconsciously decide that actually you just start drifting apart, and it feels like the necessary thing, because actually keeping your friendship alive is just too much hard work. And then when you're together, it's small talk. It is literally a networking experience, which I hate.
I couldn't think of anything worse. I just the thought of it, I'm like tensing up.
Your shoulders are now here.
Literally, I'm so bad at it. You know, some people, I am in awe of people that you can kind of just take them anywhere and put them in any situation, and they can just get on with it, and I won't say make friends, but you know, have really engaging conversations with a complete stranger. Like I just can't. I mean, I can, but I'm normally on the receiving end of what's being said. Like I'm a great listener. I'm a fantastic listener.
You love asking the questions.
I do.
You don't speak.
That's it. I've got it down. I've got it down to a T. I'm trying to be better. I am. Hence one of the reasons for wanting to do Frolics. Do you know what I mean? Because it has been such a crutch for so long. And I'm just like, guy, you need to know how to speak, to open up your mouth. Like, it's not cute, man.
But when you do, you are able to articulate your thoughts and feelings. I know that sometimes you feel like you can't, but...
Listen, stumble, trip, fall.
But that's natural, especially when you're realizing your thoughts in that moment and then trying, because you're in the process of just identifying what that is, what does that mean to me, and it's coming out at the same time. You're bound to. Everyone is bound to trip and stumble. I think I don't know. I mean, as much as I love watching people who are very articulate and they can form their thoughts and then it just flows effortlessly. And you are one of those, I tend to be like,
yeah, me too. Yes.
But I do also, I find it relatable when I'm watching someone or listening to someone and they're like, they start off and then, do you know what? Come back to me on that one, because I'm not quite sure and I don't want to just say anything. I really want to process that question.
I really admire that. The part of my brain that I'm trying to like let go of, that's tied to perfectionism and how people sort of like perceive me. I really am in awe of those people that are just like, I don't know. Or as you said, will start on one track and then change their mind halfway through and be somewhere else. Like, I love that authenticity of just, I don't know. I mean, we're not supposed to know everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe we should be wary of those that do always have an answer, because no one does.
They have rehearsed that already. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like we unpacked a lot there.
We did. I'm feeling a little bit lighter.
Ah, just let it all go. Yeah. Well, are you ready to enter into the media circus?
Let's do it. Dry off from the deep dive.
Yeah, towel off. Straight into the nutcase area.
Head on into the big top. See what's been happening.
So, I've got a bit for you first.
I love it.
My other half has a friend who sends him random videos and clips and stuff from the internet. I feel like he spends a lot of time on the internet, this person, because some of the things come through and you're like, where did he even find that? So this week I was shared a clip, and it's almost like, so you know when you can send audio notes or voice notes on Instagram?
Yeah.
It feels like it's come from that.
Oh, so, gosh, okay.
Let me set it up. It's not anyone that anybody knows. It's just something that's been taken from the internet, but I'm sure people have heard this story. So someone was sending a message to their friend about someone that they know.
Okay.
And the story starts off with the person who's leaving the voice notes. Her housemate had just come back from a hen do.
Right.
In Amsterdam.
Okay.
And basically what had happened was the hen do and the stag do both ended up in Amsterdam around the same time. So I think maybe the hen do's went a couple of days earlier or a couple of days after, but they were kind of in around the same space. It wasn't planned together. They just happened to be there. But there were lots of people within the group who knew each other. So they were like, you know, occasionally in the times, maybe we'll go out on a night out.
Okay.
The girls ended up on a night out somewhere, and they went to the red light district, and one of the girls was off her face and went into one of these kind of like booths which had glory holes.
Right.
So
where are we going with
for
this?
those of you who don't know, a glory hole is someone puts their pee-pee in there. So she's just like, and just went into this thing, and someone stuck their penis in, and she decides, you know, because she's so drunk, to
give it a go.
Fuck. Yeah. So she's going for it. And also in this booth, you have the ability, it's like this glass pane, it's all frosted. But if you're interested to see who's on the other side, you can press a button. And if they're interested in seeing on the other side, they can press a button. And if both parties press the button, they get to see who's on the other side, right? So both end up pressing the button.
Oh my God.
I can see your pen. Both end up pressing the button, and she's sucking off her dad.
No!
Yeah. So then basically both of the stag and the hen do's are like called off because it's so traumatic. They're called off the whole thing. They've gone back home, and it's basically broken up the family. Because the mum's found out, obviously, I don't know who told who, but it's all going down. And yeah, mum's divorcing the dad. And I don't know what's happened to the wedding. They didn't go that far, but it's all on a thing. I'm going to send you this later. I didn't want to send it to you before because I wanted this reaction, but I'm going to send it to you to play because it is shocking. It is so shocking.
Where do we go from here? Oh, I And I'm not going to sex shame and be like, this is what you get, but oh my God. You will be forever you'd be forever changed. There's no more family gatherings. We can't keep eye contact anymore. Oh my God.
What do you do for yourself? Like looking up and then seeing.
I don't know if I don't know if there's enough therapy. I don't know if there is.
You will never be clean. You will never be clean. Like emotionally, mentally. How do you shake that off?
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, because it's like, if you keep your distance, there'll obviously be occasions where you'll have to see each other. And because you're not used to seeing each other, the memory is going to be flooding back. But then also, if I'm seeing you all the time, we can't just interact like this. Treacherous, awful thing did not happen. I don't know. Maybe you just like go to another country and just start again.
Yeah, just like erase all memory of who you're related to.
What's that movie? That Jim Carrey one where he like erases his memory because of a breakup.
Something in Sunshine.
Yeah, Spotless Mind, something.
Yeah.
Like just take the thoughts away, because I cannot live.
Oh my gosh.
That is, I
don't know if it's real or not, but it's one of those things where, because of the story being told, it feels authentic. It feels like, there's not too much emotion in it, because the girl who's telling the story, she's been told it from her friend who was there.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the kind of thing you would have to tell people, you're just like, oh my God, I heard this story. It's like that one that goes around about the girl who goes on the date, who brings the guy home, and she doesn't feel completely comfortable. He's sleeping on the sofa, she's upstairs in her room. So she locks the door and he tries to come in, and he's like, oh, I've left my phone charger in there. She's like, what are you talking about? Because you haven't got phone charger. So she gets freaked out. So she calls the police. The police come round and then allow her to come out. And there's like tarpaulin all on the floor in her front room and knives, because he was about to kill her. I've heard this story.
Like Dexter.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that story from so many different people, as if they've known someone who that's happened to. So I don't know if it's just one of those things.
Yo. And then when they're like, why didn't you go on a date? This is why, because I could die. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It is a wild world out there, man.
I know. What about that one that I sent to you? Was it yesterday, or did you send that to me? I can't remember. But the one with the guy.
I'm always bracing myself.
So in the video, obviously, the guy is telling a story in a kind of podcast situation.
Yeah.
About the girl who shit herself on a date.
Let the folks know.
Yeah. I'm sure people have seen it, but if you haven't, you need to go out there and look for it. So basically, this guy is telling a story about how this girl was going out on a date. And did she end up going around to the guy's house? I think
she went around to his house for dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. And halfway through the dinner, she was just like, ooh, I really need to use your bathroom.
Yeah. Stomach started bubbling.
Yeah, oh God. Ooh, worst situation ever have on a date. And he was like, yeah, sure, let me just go into the bathroom and clean it up so it's presentable for you. Was in there for like 8 minutes. Who's in there for 8 minutes? And then when he came out, she'd shat herself because she'd been waiting so long and she needed to go. And then he kindly presented that he would clean it up for her. She could go into the bathroom, have a shower and stuff. And when she came out, he had smeared all of her poop all over
himself, yeah.
And she just left. She put it up on, what was it, Reddit?
Yeah.
She wrote up the thing, put it up on Reddit, and then someone contacted her to say that that person had gone out on a date with the same guy and he was putting laxatives in their dinner.
Oh my God. It's only just clocked to me why he was in the bathroom for so long. I'm so
he was waiting for
He was waiting for it to happen.
He was waiting for it to get so desperate. The fact, though, that when he was describing this whole thing, the guy was like, the poo was like dripping down her dress. That is some how much do you need to put in there for that to be like...
And that's got to be some like serious stuff as well, because that's not a Senecop poo, right? That's like industrial. You're about to have a colonic. We're taking everything out your insides type of poo. To happen that quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So not only have you just had the worst evening because you've shat yourself, but you've come out feeling like, how am I ever going to live this down? To seeing that this guy has covered him. So you've gone from like mortified to terrified because this is not normal people behavior.
No.
What?
I know. And also well, I don't know, has she borrowed clothes from the guy when she had a shower, or she put a shitty dress back on, but having to make your way back home, like, and just being, oh my God, you would be terrified. You would be absolutely terrified of, and also, is he following you? Like, that is, I tell you what, dating in general, but I feel like a lot of this is very, there's a small section of the world where the dating pool is just terrifying. And then the rest is just a bit, you have to kiss a lot of frogs.
Oh, man.
It's part and parcel.
I know, I'm so lazy.
You learn so much more about what you want from that.
Yeah. Just like, just put him on my doorstep with a bow on him, please. Oh
my God.
I've just told you, I'm tired. Just send him already.
Oh gosh.
Already healed.
You want him already healed. Yeah. Wow.
Or at least aware. Someone self-aware, willing to do the work, has already done some, that I don't have to mother. I already have 2 children. Don't want a third.
I know. I'm so intrigued to know what doing the work looks and feels like for guys. Like, do they cover the same kind of things in the same capacity? And also because, I know from my experience, girls talk a lot to each other. So we're already in the habit of talking about our feelings, like seeking advice, hearing other people's opinions about what's going on in their lives and stuff, and learning from other people. I wonder if guys have to start from scratch. Like, do you have to seek out those tribes? Some people have them. Like, I'm not saying that all guys are just lone wolves. Some people have found their pack and kept their pack from day dot.
Yeah. But even guys that have their friends from day dot still don't have those deep conversations. It's all, it is still quite surface, I think
sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay. I was going to say, it must be really difficult because, they are not, I don't want to say groomed, that's not the right word, but they're just not encouraged the same way that women have been to share. For a lot of them, sharing is dangerous, mixed with
a sign of weakness, or vulnerability, which is seen as weakness. I know a lot of guys who have female friends who they do that with, but not necessarily talking to their guy friends. But I don't know what else is there in the media circus that we need to discuss apart from Britney's. Oh my God, I know we kind of mentioned Britney's reveal all, but my colleague got a copy in the pre-sale and has been dropping, not giving things away, but has been saying like, there is a lot of tell-all in here.
Wow.
So now I feel like I need to buy it.
Yes, I was going to say, I've got a few autobiographies on the shelf that I'm still to get through because, I like to buy books and dust them off. Don't actually
Dusting
read
them is the worst, I know. You're like, one day, my pretty, one day.
Oh my gosh, it's such a bad habit. But when I add to cart, I have every intention, and I feel like as soon as it arrives, I'm going to crack that right open. No.
A couple I have arrived and I've started, and then they like sit on the side of my bed to read, and then I don't. And then another one comes, and then that goes on top of the pile, and then I have this makeshift bedside table.
That looks cute. You look well versed, but actually that spine's not been cracked properly.
Do you know what's really bad though? I've been pestering a mister about buying a new shelf for our office to put all of the books on, because they're just like piling up. Like, no, I don't like the way this looks. I want it to look pretty on display. Oh God.
I can dust it all in one spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I am interested to, especially as I know that there's dirt in it. That's so bad. But again, I think it's because
we established we like drama as long as it's not our own.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's what gossip is. I'm against gossip. Well, no, I'm not spreading it. No.
We're discussing what's really out there.
Let me just stop. let me just stop before I dig this hole any deeper. But I think for me, because we were around for like the rise, we lived through the Britney era. So for me, the book is just like a look behind the curtain. I kind of want to see what they were getting up to.
Yeah.
Because we were just presented with one image of them, and everyone has dirt. Everyone gets up to stuff. Everyone has a life, She was like really young when she came. I can't remember how, was it 17 or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. So she like grew up and in front of the world, really. And it was a different time as well. Like
it was.
The protections just weren't there like how they are now.
I do think it's quite, and also with everything else that's happened in her life as well, it would just give you a glimpse into how she was really handling it in her own words. I think that's the thing. This is like liberation for her, because it's finally an opportunity for her to say, actually, this is why.
Yeah.
If you think I went nuts, this is the reason why I was acting the way I was acting.
I mean, she absolutely did. Like, we saw it.
Yeah.
The media like held her up, and then they absolutely wrecked her, which I think is tragic as well, is that it's like it was happening in front of the cameras by like the media, and then behind the scenes by, from what we know, like parents and agents that were just taking from her. They just, literally just wanted pieces of her, really. She was like a machine.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like there was any care or consideration for well-being or, her just being able to enjoy her success. It was just like she was a cash cow.
Kind of like Elvis, I don't know if you saw that film, but that's...
No, I've not seen that yet.
That's kind of how it's portrayed to be, that he was a cash cow as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't really know his story.
That's why I watched it. My nan is a massive, massive fan, as is the other half. He enjoys listening to Elvis. But yeah, I watched the film. And because it's, I can't remember people's... Baz Luhrmann, is it?
No idea. What, the guy that played him?
No. It directed. So the same for like Romeo and Juliet, those kind of films. He directed Elvis. And so there was lots of those really artistic
I love those
that
ones.
were fun.
Okay.
And so it was interesting to watch, especially with all of the like gold and the glitter and stuff. It was fantastic visually, and also learning about the story behind it. I mean, obviously, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. So you don't know how much of it is true. But yeah, I think that for a lot of artists, there's been an element of where you're just like, work. little segue, and I don't know if you listen to him or you're interested, but there's a really cool documentary on Netflix at the moment about Lewis Capaldi, and that around the mental health aspect of it.
He's a UK. Is he a UK artist?
Scottish, yes.
Okay.
He is really, it's really interesting because obviously he's part of talking about his own story and where it's going, and you can see as the documentary kind of develops how his mental health is playing out. With the pressure of being a star, going from I used to write these songs and play these songs because I love to do it, to now it's my job and people expect me to come out. It's so interesting, whether you like his music or not, but it's such an interesting story. I finished watching that last night and I was like, man, that is a lot of pressure.
Is it one long thing or it's like a episode?
Yeah, it's like a film. Almost.
Oh, okay.
So you can stop and start if you want to.
Okay.
But yeah, really intriguing. And I just think actually they probably, like Britney and Elle, you just wouldn't have had that back in the day.
They didn't have it back in the day.
Can you sing? Okay, great. Now write a song and go out there and perform it.
Yeah. It's really bad, especially like when, even like now, sort of hearing about the deals that artists were given back in the day, where, you know, it's clear that they were raking in millions, but the artists themselves were getting like the tiniest percentage of that when they're essentially doing all of the work, really. You know, it's like the label, it's like everyone else was getting paid, but the person actually doing the work. That's wild. And there is something to be said as well about like your passion becoming your job. It's like how can you create with that type of pressure and constraint? Because again, you kind of have, a lot of the time they want you to have a certain image, you know, which really is only a certain part of yourself. But as a creative, you kind of need all aspects. That's where the work comes from. So I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Miley Cyrus, but she was similar as well, you know, because she went through that whole thing of being Hannah Montana and then coming out and doing the whole wrecking ball thing. But it's a case of kind of like, well, I was that for a period of time. It was part of my show, but that's not who I am. Let me be who I am. And then going out. I think that's probably why a lot of artists nowadays fight to have the rights to their own music, because Taylor Swift, as an example, didn't she have to recreate her whole backlog of music because it didn't belong to her?
I didn't know. I mean, I don't really know much about Taylor Swift, I'm going to be honest.
Either. I have,
but I have heard.
Who are fans. So I have heard of artists.
Okay, I have heard of artists having to do that though. I didn't know she was one of them. They kind of basically like re-record their stuff, slight changes, so it's not exactly the same or something, different arrangements and stuff. But wild.
I know, it's crazy. And all you want to do is perform, like, you know, because you love performing.
Yeah.
And those who enable that to happen are just like dollar signs.
It doesn't seem to be like it's a fair partnership. You know, you need the machine behind you to kind of, you know, to get the music out and all of that. But it's just, it takes away from the purity, I think, of what you're trying to do.
Even with the writers' strike, that's exactly what they're saying. It's like, we get nothing.
That is wild to me. That has been so illuminating, you know, actually hearing, and a lot of them were like displaying the not royalty checks, what do they call it? Residual checks as well, that they get for work that they've been in. And it's like cents, cents to the dollar. The fact that it costs more to go and cash the check than the check is actually worth. And then they want to sort of bring in AI where they can like scan people's faces and then place that in the TV programs or the films or whatever. So they don't actually have to pay people. Like, there's enough money, and that's what really irritates me, or angers me. I shouldn't say irritate, angers me, that there is enough money for everybody to live fairly, to be fairly compensated for the work that they're doing. It's just like the greed of those, you know, at the top of the food chain with the power and the control that just, you know, just won't share. It's crazy. It's inhumane. It's inhumane.
Yeah. Oh, AI is another topic for another time.
We can't do that because it's too scary. I don't like scary things. Oh my gosh. I just see flashes of like Terminator 2. You know, like the robots taking over, or what's the other one? iRobot, where, you know, the robots are here for good initially, and then they're just like, you guys can't even, you know, keep your own planet safe, so we're just going to take over and do it for you, which actually makes sense to me.
Right? Yeah, even the Matrix, they're just like, we're just going to use you for energy. So crazy. And there's a new film that's out with, oh God, I literally need a glossary. I need a glossary of artists. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it's a similar take on that whole thing of like they're hunting down these AIs and then, you know, figuring out. I haven't seen the film, so I can't tell you what the.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out.
Oh, okay. No idea.
I would be down to watch that, even though it is scary. But there's so much. Black Mirror, another thing that's constantly showcasing the way that technology is slowly. And I think it's not just how it's taking over our life, how our usage, and we're allowing the usage to take over our lives.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like
to everything.
Yeah. It's like as far as technology is going, it really is regressing us terribly. Like we're at this rate, we're just going to be like lumps in a chair. It reminds me of is it WALL-E?
Yeah. As soon as you were saying regress, I was just like already WALL-E.
Don't have to do anything, and that's not progress at all. Wow. All right, look, let's stop it there because this is going to take very dark turns. The week is just getting started. Let's, you know.
Yeah.
Let's not start on a downer.
No. But it's something to reflect. It's something to reflect on how we, I don't know, present ourselves in the world through technology, our usage of technology, and then also everything that we've been talking about in terms of growth. And any guys who are listening, reach out to your guy friends. Have a chat. Start that process.
They're going through very similar things to you. And if not currently, have been previously, may do so in the future. Use your network. And I'm saying that to myself also. You ever find that when you give advice, just like, I should be taking this?
Yeah, always. The problem is with our little chat group is we're just like, message, remember this. And it will come back on you. You just get a reply just being...
with the finger. Remember you said.
Held accountable.
I love it. It's good. It's good. We're very blessed to have each other the way that we do. Yes. Because as we're learning, not a lot of people have that type of village around them. So we're definitely some of the luckier ones. So, All right, guys, we're going to bring this week's episode to a close.
Already.
Thank you as always for listening. We'd love it if you would share this episode with your besties, just like we used to do back in the day with chainmail. We can't promise you any good luck, but we can promise that you'd be sharing joy. So do that. Why would you not want to? Hit subscribe, hit all the subscribe buttons, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so you'll know when we've uploaded something new. As Aim said, we'd love to hear from you. So leave comments, send us memes, ask us questions. We're here and ready to engage. And if there's anything you think should be discussed in the media circus, forward that across to us too. Yeah. You'll find us at It's All Frolics everywhere you like to scroll. Insta, TikTok, Twitter. I'm not going to call it X. That's ridiculous. Facebook is still a thing. We're over there as well. We're basically everywhere but on LinkedIn. So don't be shy. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Ames? Or
I think, oh God. Actually, even in the deep dive, if you have come across some really interesting questions that you think would be worthwhile us asking each other, then send those along too, because as much as we have a list of them, you don't know what you don't know. So it's always useful to get other people's interaction on that.
Yeah. And don't forget to ask yourself this week's deep dive question as well. When you get lonely, it's not necessarily a negative thing, but self-awareness is power.
Yes, it is.
It's a life
At least it starts with it.
All right, kids. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great week. Be good. And if you can't be good, try harder.
Love you all, guys. See you next time.
Peace.